Welcome to your learning environment assignment. In this assignment, you will evaluate your own learning environment, reflect on possible changes or improvements, and implement one of your own ideas. In part 1, we're going to reflect on our current space. You will need your textbook titled Designs for Living and Learning. As you answer each question, ensure you are incorporating the knowledge you have learned throughout all of these 3 courses: enacting inclusive practices, inclusive learning environments, and respectful guidance. To begin, 1. Sketch your space. Draw a sketch of your classroom space following the directions on page 17 of your textbook. Draw a sketch of your outdoor environment as well, and write the age group you work with on the top of both of your sketches. 2. Assess your space. Follow the instructions on page 324 for preschool or school-age rooms, or page 326 for infant and toddler rooms to code your room. This will make sense after you read the directions on these pages. You can see all of the coding down here. For 1 week, note where problems occur in your spaces and when. Problems could include fighting over toys, children uninterested in a certain area, children tripping or bumping into each other. Also during this observation week, note where children are deeply engaged in activities. What are they interested in and when are they interested in? 3. Reflect on your space. Based on the coding of your room in number 2, what components do you feel your environment represents well? What components do you feel you could do better with? And what changes could you make? Based on those observations, what patterns are you noticing? Are there areas of your room that are more prone to challenging behavior? Why do you think that might be? Or are there areas of your room more prone to engagement and cooperation? Why do you think that may be? Based on your observations, what changes could you make? Consider your indoor and outdoor environment from an inclusive point of view. Is your environment welcoming to all children and families? What elements make it so welcoming? Is there anything you would change? What elements of universal design could you incorporate? Does your space reflect the diversity of your community? If so, what elements make it so? If not, what elements could you add or change? Think about the daily rituals and routines of your day, including transitions from one activity to another. What are you currently doing that fosters positive behavior? What could you do differently? What behaviors have you noted in the last week or 2 that might be helped by a change in ritual, routine, or transition? What changes could you make? Considering aesthetics, belonging, and children's use of the space. Consider the reflection questions on page 57, 65, 87, and 233. What other ideas do you have for improving your indoor and outdoor spaces based on what you read in these chapters? Think about long-term and short-term. What would you do if you could? In part 2, we are going to implement a change. So choose one of the ideas from part 1, only one of those ideas, and implement it. Take a before and after photo of the change that you have made. Observe how the change you made impacts you and the children. Answer the following questions. What change did you make? Why did you choose this change? What did you observe when you made this change? How did it impact the way you or the children experienced your learning space? And what might you do next and why? After you complete your assignment, ensure you have all components ready to submit. Number 1, your indoor and outdoor learning environment sketch, labeled and coded. 2, written responses to the reflection questions in part 1. Number 3, a before and after photo of the change you made to your space. And 4, responses to the reflection questions in part 2, either written or in a video format.